Chapter 21. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. The gift from factory director who is not anything valuable. Ordinary 2 kilograms of biscuits, 2 bottles of wine and 2 packets of snacks. But in the countryside where even an egg is reluctant to eat, it is still very valuable. No one drank at home. When passing by Shilin village at home, Zhang Peipei directly sent 2 bottles of wine to Zhang Jingqi, leaving a bag of snacks and a kilo of biscuits. Zhang Jingqi looked at the 2 bottles of wine and said in surprise, "Where did you get such good wine?" Zhang Peipei told us about Director Hu. Zhang Jingqi frowned, looked at Zhang Peipei with a serious face and said, "Saving people is a good thing, but you can't repay them with grace. Don't bother others in the future." When talking, he glared at his son. He didn't agree with Zhang Peipei's acceptance of the gift, but he didn't say anything. Zhang Peipei nodded again and again. She had been educated like this since she was a child and had long been used to it. Zhang Jingqi looked at Gu Qiaoyue again. "And you girl, don't go alone when you encounter such a thing in the future. Find someone at the first time when you encounter something, otherwise you will be more dangerous for a girl's family. One can't do well, but you can't save people, and you can take yourself in." "I see, Grandpa. I'll pay attention next time." Gu Qiaoyue also nodded with a smile and respected Zhang Jingqi in her heart. Living in the countryside in the 1980s, it is really rare to see these things so thoroughly, not fawning or flattering, and telling their children not to take advantage of their kindness when meeting big people. Wu Honglian and He Tsuanfang helped Gu Qiaoyue at home. Zhang Jingqi left 2 bottles of wine for Xiao Zhang Shua and Gu Qiaoyue and Gu Qiaowan to eat. "I'm an old man. Take it back to the children and leave the wine." Back home, little Zhang Shua, who was only 3 years old, was very happy. He held cookies one by one and didn't eat dinner. Since Gu Qiaoyue's family set up a stall in the county, there will be an extra dinner at home in the evening. Knowing that Gu Qiaoyue saved Director Hu's son yesterday, Grandma Wu Honglian also said something similar to Zhang Jingqi after Director Hu returned the gift. Let Gu Qiaoyue never feel that she has saved others, so she will naturally enjoy other people's gifts. Said Gu Qiaoyue, there is still such a loss in her heart. "I'm sorry. You know, after she knew that Hu Haoyu was the son of factory director Hu, she really thought of this favor in her heart. However, for Wu Honglian and others, she naturally won't say what she plans to do in her heart, otherwise she will certainly be talked about by Wu Honglian, and maybe by Grandpa." Business remained good for the next few days. When Gu Qiaoyue counted the money day by day and found that his family had saved about 1,000 yuan, his mind to rent a stall in the county became active. She is going to go to high school in the county and the city. Only Zhang Peipei and Gu Qiaowan are left at home. She is really worried. Although Grandma's family can take photos, they are far away. Moreover, after school, she, Qiaowan and her uncle couldn't help with business. Zhang Peipei was really busy alone. It would be easier to rent a shop in the county. At that time, Qiaowan can be transferred to the county to study. Anyway, the quality of education in the county is much better than that in the countryside. But before she could say her plan, something happened at home. When setting up a stall that day, a man came from a distance. "Yo, isn't this Sister in law? What do you sell? Give us both a share." Wei Meiqi brought her eldest son to the county today to sell saved eggs. As soon as she came, she saw Gu Qiaoyue's family selling something with bicycles. The business looked good. After further inquiry, I found out that they have been doing business in the county and city for more than 10 days. When he observed in the dark, he was so cruel that he clenched his teeth. A bowl of cold skin is 50 cents, a rugamo is 50 cents, and a dish is 30 cents. People come and go. In a short time, almost dozens of them have been sold. That's all money. It's so annoying that Zhang Peipei, a bitch, earned it. I wanted to come and see what they were selling. How could business be so good? Looking at Wei Meiqi standing beside her stall, Gu Qiaoyue frowned fiercely, and her eyes were a little cold. Gu Qiaowan and Zhang Hosheng, who were busy living, stared at Wei Meiqi, who suddenly appeared, like a great enemy. Zhang Peipei's face was even more ugly. Since the divorce, Zhang Peipei has never seen these people of his old family again. Unexpectedly, he saw them in the county town. But she didn't want to do her business at all, let alone see her. Lao Gu's two daughter.in.law, the second daughter.in.law, Wei Meiqi, and the child's daughter.in.law, Li Lingling. If Li Lingling is a smiling tiger, this Wei Meiqi is a gossip and a second Lang. She dares to say anything and do anything, regardless of the consequences. She used to blatantly speak ill of Zhang Peipei in front of Mrs. Gu, and stopped Zhang Peipei in front of her face and quarreled several times. Gu Qiaoyue didn't have a good impression of anyone in the old Gu family. Seeing Wei Meiqi's impolite appearance of wanting to eat Overlord's meal, Gu Qiaoyue sneered and said, "My mother is not your sister.in.law. Don't yell next time, or I'll think you're deliberately damaging my mother's reputation. 50 cents for cold skin rugamo and 30 cents for vegetable burger. If you want to eat, pay first." Naturally, she didn't say to others to pay for dinner first, but Wei Meiqi was different. She didn't want her to take advantage of the Overlord meal. Wei Meiqi was shameless by Gu Qiaoyue. She laughed twice and said, "Look what the child said. We are all a family. How can we say whether money is money or not? I'm your second aunt." Wei Meiqi looks like she should eat Overlord food. The people waiting to buy things around turned their heads and looked at Wei Meiqi. There was a flash of contempt in their eyes. They all felt that the woman had a thick skin. People said they had asked to pay, but she said it was okay. Gu Qiaoyue also thinks that Wei Meiqi is too thick-skinned. Zhang Peipei didn't go to the old Gu's house to make trouble about Zhang Peipei and Gu Deong. That's because Zhang Peipei has self-restraint. But she was so happy that she came to eat Overlord food. Where's the face? Who's with your family? Don't be so shy. Gu Qiaoyue rolled her eyes and was speechless. At the right moment, Factory Director Hu and the Iron Triangle of Lao Yangtu and Lao Gaotu came and shouted Gu Qiaoyue as soon as they came. "Girl, 3 cold skins and 3 rugamo." "Okay." Gu Qiaoyue answered and greeted Zhang Peipei and Gu Qiaowan. No one paid any attention to Wei Meiqi. Chapter 22. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wei Meiqi felt that she had no face and that Gu Qiaoyue's business was too good. She was jealous. All of a sudden, there are 3 cold skins and 3 rugamo. This is 3 yuan. There are still bits and pieces coming to buy vegetable gamo. After standing here for a while, I'm afraid they've earned 5 yuan. It's not even 50 or 60 yuan a day. How could she not be jealous? What's more, the 3 men who came to buy cold skin rugamo talked and laughed with the bitch Zhang Peipei, as if they were very familiar. Wei Meiqi scolded Zhang Peipei for shameless bitch and so on. She turned her eyes and suddenly said, "Look at what the moon girl said. Even if your mother is found stealing, my uncle doesn't want her, but we used to be a family. Don't we just have a cold skin? I'm not reluctant to give it up." Wei Meiqi said, looking vaguely at the 3 men on the side, thinking proudly to see if they would approach her when they knew Zhang Peipei was stealing. Looking at the other people nearby, these people know Zhang Peipei's virtue and will certainly not buy her cold skin in the future. Zhang Peipei's business is destined to be yellow. Wei Meiqi proudly looked at Zhang Peipei and laughed provocatively. "Sister.in.law, these 3 won't be your next goal." Zhang Peipei instantly turned pale and staggered back 1 step. "What are you talking about?" Gu Qiaoyue also has a gloomy and ugly face. She didn't expect Wei Meiqi to confuse black and white. At this point, she dares to talk nonsense here. Take another look at Wei Meiqi's complacency. You can see what she's fighting. A burst of anger suddenly hit her heart. Gu Qiaoyue's meat chopping knife suddenly chopped on the wooden pier and stared at Wei Meiqi fiercely. Wei Meiqi, talk nonsense again. Believe it or not, I'll scratch your face. Gu Qiaoyue was really angry, especially when he saw the people around him who had been watching the excitement. He wanted to chop Wei Meiqi now. Wei Meiqi was frightened by Gu Qiaoyue and stepped back for several steps. She patted her heart with a guilty heart and shouted loudly with high chi. Gu Qiaoyue, I'm your second aunt. Even if your mother and your father divorce, I'm also your second aunt. I think you dare to hit me. Seeing this, Gu Changsheng, the eldest son behind Wei Meiqi who came with her, stepped forward and stopped Wei Meiqi behind her. He kicked a wooden bucket with a bucket of fried vegetables. Gu Qiaoyue, how dare you intimidate my mother? Show me another one. Your mother is stealing people, and we can't let people say it, can we? I also said, your mother stole people, Zhang Peipei stole people. Zhang Peipei stole people. Gu Changsheng shouted like a rascal. Gu Qiaoyue's eyes jumped. He was about to carry a kitchen knife to chop Wei Meiqi's mother and son. Suddenly, he caught a sharp glimpse of several people from the neighboring village in the crowd, and Lao Yang's head in his village was also in the crowd. Gu Qiaoyue's eyes flashed, threw down the kitchen knife, and suddenly cried loudly. At the same time, he also pulled the impulse to go up and beat Gu Changsheng's Zhang Hosheng. Second aunt, my mother and my father are divorced. Why do you bully us? This is the livelihood we managed to find. You have ruined it. How can we live in the future? Gu Qiaoyue cried. Zhang Peipei's eyes were red, and factory director Hu and others frowned. Gu Qiaoyue they know has always been positive and optimistic, and has never seen her cry like this. Factory director Hu likes Gu Qiaoyue very much, not to mention that Gu Qiaoyue saved his son. At present, Gu Qiaoyue's family is in trouble. Factory director Hu thinks he should stand up. This lady, speak with evidence, but don't slander people at will, or they can go to the court to sue you. Lao Liang and Lao Gao too also said one after another, that is, you should be responsible. Zhang Peipei has been in contact with them for a few days, but they don't look like any dishonest women. But the woman looked like a shrew. Her eyes turned when she spoke. She was not a good man at first sight. When Wei Meiqi heard that she was going to sue her, she stepped back with some guilt. Seeing that the onlookers didn't know why they were talking, Wei Meiqi suddenly had courage again. On second thought, will Zhang Peipei sue her? I guess she doesn't even know where the court door opens. Besides, this is the county. Who knows whether what she said is true or false? Anyway, I'll buckle Zhang Peipei's excrement basin first. Slander. I slander her. Don't laugh. What did Zhang Peipei do? Everyone in our village doesn't know that she was caught stealing. My eldest brother saw it with his own eyes and wanted to divorce her. I tell you, don't be deceived by her appearance. Everyone in our village doesn't know that Zhang Peipei is a bitch. Bdnvl.m. Gu Qiaoyue lowered her head and a cold light flashed in her eyes. While crying, she also pulled Gu Qiaowan and whispered, Qiaowan, cry. Cry loudly. Gu Qiaowan, who was angry and wanted to hit Wei Meiqi, didn't know what Gu Qiaoyue was going to do, but she was obedient and cried loudly. Seeing that both daughters were bullied and cried, Zhang Peipei, who was pale and didn't know what to do, didn't know where the strength came from, suddenly walked over and slapped Wei Meiqi. A slap does not relieve one's anger, and the backhand is another slap. Wei Meiqi, I, Zhang Peipei, have been your sister-in-law for so many years and haven't offended you. Why do you have to discredit me? It's clear that Gu Daong has someone outside and has a son. I'm going to divorce him. How can I steal from you in your mouth? What do you see with your eyes? Zhang Peipei suddenly became angry. Everyone was stunned. Listening to the content of her words, the onlookers were also confused. What's the matter with this family? One said that a woman stole, and the other said that a man had someone outside. What the hell is going on? Director Hu and others did not expect Zhang Pei to suddenly hit people, and they all looked at each other. Factory Director Hu frowned and glanced at Gu Qiaoyue. He still felt that Gu Qiaoyue was not a weak girl who was bullied and would only cry. On this look, I found that Gu Qiaoyue was crying and looking around, like looking for someone. Factory Director Hu also looked around. He didn't see any special people, and he was even more confused. But I also felt that Gu Qiaoyue must have other ideas, so I pulled Lao Liang and Lao Gao too, who wanted to help. Don't worry, let's have a look first. Wei Meiqi didn't expect Zhang Pei to suddenly hit her. The whole person was stunned. Zhang Pei was going to hit Zhang Pei. Zhang Pei, you bitch, you dare to beat me. I'll kill you, bitch. Chapter 23. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Although Zhang Pei angrily beat Wei Meiqi, she is also famous for her tenderness in the village. There is basically no fighting and swearing in the street. Where, like Wei Meiqi, I quarrel with this one today and fight with that one tomorrow. I have practiced a good scolding skill and fighting kung fu. Zhang Pei is not Wei Meiqi's opponent at all. Gu Qiaoyue didn't expect that Zhang Pei would suddenly get angry and jump out to hit people. After being stunned for a while, she ran out crying. Stop fighting my mother. Please stop fighting. Gu Qiaoyue hugged Wei Meiqi and cried, tearing her heart and lungs, which moved people. While she was crying, her other hand hammered Wei Meiqi's stomach where people couldn't see it. If you dare to bully her mother, let's talk about the next black hand first. At the beginning, Wei Meiqi also thought that Gu Qiaoyue came to fight, but also pulled Zhang Pei and wanted to die. But I didn't expect to be hugged by Gu Qiaoyue. I couldn't take another step forward, and the hand holding Zhang Pei's arm couldn't work hard. When she wanted to retreat, she had a stomachache and couldn't retreat. Gu Qiaoyue held her in her arms and cried bitterly. Stop fighting, let go of my mother. Stop fighting. He shouted to Gu Qiaowan, come and pull her away. She's killing me and my mother. Gu Qiaowan saw that Gu Qiaoyue was still unable to pull Wei Meiqi alone. She was also beaten. She wiped her tears and came to hold Wei Meiqi. Second aunt, don't hit my sister and my mother. Gu Qiaowan really wanted to pull Wei Meiqi away, but she found that Wei Meiqi was so heavy that she couldn't pull it away. She beat her on her back and wanted her to let go of Gu Qiaoyue and Zhang Pei. Wei Meiqi was besieged by Gu Qiaoyue and Gu Qiaowan sisters. Gu Qiaoyue held Wei Meiqi fiercely. After a burst of beating, she relieved her anger, which relieved her strength. Gu Qiaowan also successfully pulled Wei Meiqi away. But because of excessive force, she dragged Wei Meiqi directly to the ground. After getting up, Gu Qiaowan ran to Zhang Pei and asked anxiously, ignoring his painful ass. Mom, what's the matter with you? Zhang Pei is still a little dizzy and some don't know why. Just now, Wei Meiqi pulled her, but Gu Qiaoyue soon came, and then Wei Meiqi just pulled her arm. She saw Gu Qiaoyue holding Wei Meiqi's waist. Because she was afraid that Wei Meiqi would free her hand to hit Gu Qiaoyue, she grabbed Wei Meiqi's arm and wanted to save Gu Qiaoyue. In fact, she didn't hurt at all. Seeing that Gu Qiaoyue cried so badly, I thought Gu Qiaoyue had been beaten, so I ran to Gu Qiaoyue. Yue, how are you? Are you okay? Gu Qiaowan also worried red eyes. Sister, did she hit you? Where do you hurt? Sister, you talk. Gu Qiaoyue wiped her tears, shook her head, breathed out her breath, looked at Wei Meiqi who was pulled apart by Gu Qiaowan and fell to the ground, and loudly complained. How can you do this? Even if you talk nonsense, you still want to hit my mother. You're too much. Wei Meiqi was beaten by Gu Qiaoyue. She just felt a terrible pain in her stomach and couldn't get up while sitting on the ground. Listening to Gu Qiaoyue's villain complain first, he was even more angry. He couldn't breathe and almost suffocated. After slowing down, he scolded. Gu Qiaoyue, you cheap bastard. You dare to beat your second aunt. You disrespect your elders. Is there any justice? Gu Qiaoyue, I'll fight with you. Prosperity, beat the dead girl for me. She dares to beat me and kill her for me. Although Gu Changsheng is a little confused, he is still a high school student. He still wants to face in front of so many people. At this moment, I saw my mother clearly pulling others to fight, but now she wronged others to beat her. She still sat on the ground and splashed. She also felt that she couldn't hang on her face and stood still for a long time. Mom, stop it. Let's go back first. It's hard for these people around to look at their disdainful eyes. You. Prosperity, they beat your mother, and you didn't help me. Wei Meiqi never thought her son would say so. Gu Changsheng doesn't turn his head. He really doesn't want to see Wei Meiqi sitting on the ground. Some don't want to admit that this is his mother. Gu Qiaoyue, you dead girl, I'll kill you. Wei Meiqi was so angry that she got up and was going to beat Gu Qiaoyue. But my stomach really hurts and I can't get up for a long time. Gu Qiaoyue looked at her coldly and said innocently, how can you confuse black and white so much? Just now it was you who beat my mother. My sister and I can't pull you away. The onlookers really couldn't see it anymore. They just pointed to Wei Meiqi and said. You are really shameless. You beat others and don't admit it. You say they beat you. You think we are all furnishings. We are blind. We can't see you beating people. That's right. You're talking nonsense about stealing people before. Don't bully others like this. If you put it aside a few years ago, you should be pulled out to criticize. But speaking of it, we don't know whether the big girl selling cold skin stole. It must be this woman's nonsense. Look at her naughty appearance. She was lying with her eyes open just now. It's shameless to say that she beat others or that they beat her. There is a lot of discussion around. There are all kinds of things to say. Occasionally, someone mentions Zhang Peipei's stealing. It's said that there must be a reason. Maybe Zhang Peipei really stole. Gu Qiaoyue heard two colds in her heart, held Zhang Peipei and motioned her not to be angry. Wei Meiqi didn't listen to anything. She only heard those people say she hit someone and didn't see Gu Qiaoyue hit her. She was so angry that she almost carried her breath. Gu Qiaoyue, you talk nonsense. You didn't see her beating me. You people are talking nonsense. Gu Qiaoyue, you dare to beat me. I dare not admit it. Be careful. I'll sue you. I'll make you unable to stay in Banyan Village. Gu Qiaoyue wiped her tears, sneered in her heart, looked at the crowd and cried. It's obviously you who beat my mother. You slander my mother for stealing. Just sue. Let's go to the Public Security Bureau to comment. Lao Yang was thinking about whether to help Gu Qiaoyue speak. Although he said the truth, he would offend Lin Wei Meiqi if he helped them. This Wei Meiqi is a famous bitch. Few people can match her when she plays a rogue. If she offends her, she will talk nonsense. Can he beat a woman as a big man? But if you're not busy, you're always sorry. Chapter 24. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lao Yang didn't weigh whether to go out to help, so he looked up at Gu Qiaoyue's tearful eyes. My heart suddenly stagnated, and a sense of justice poured in. I felt that I couldn't watch the weak being bullied without asking. He was about to stand out and talk, but before he could, someone stood out one step ahead of him. Wei Meiqi, don't talk nonsense here. You don't feel ashamed. We still feel ashamed. Who doesn't know about your family's bad things? You bully these city people. Stay away from them and don't bother to listen to your family's bad things. Zhang Pei's good daughter married to your family. What did your family do? Gu Deong had a woman outside and wanted to divorce. He also did those dirty things and slandered Zhang Pei for stealing people. Bah, I've never seen such a shameless person in your old Gu family. The speaker was from the neighboring village. Although he didn't go to see the excitement in person, he also knew about the family. He was very ashamed of what Gu Deong and Lao Gu had done. At this moment, I can't see that Wei Meiqi went to the county and slandered Zhang Pei. In particular, she obviously beat someone and didn't admit it in front of so many people. She had to say that someone else's girl beat her, just her big and strong man. Can someone else's girl beat her? She dares to say such words and treat others as fools. Seeing that he was robbed first, Lao Yang stood up immediately. Wei Meiqi, you have to be shameless. Zhang Pei is your former sister. In law anyway. Even if you are not a relative, you don't have to slander others. Lao Yang shouted, stood up and said to the onlookers. Don't listen to this woman's nonsense here. I'm from Rongshu village. The story of Gu Dayong's family has been spread all over our village. Gu Deong is a worker on the railway. When he goes to work, he has someone outside. He doesn't know whether he wants a divorce. He yells at Zhang Pei for stealing people before he comes back. If Zhang Pei's mother and family were not in the house that day, Zhang Pei might be hurt by Gu Deong. Lao Yang repeated what he knew and said. I'll tell you, that's not enough. Gu Deong slanders Zhang Pei for not stealing. After getting divorced, his mother will occupy other people's house. You don't know. The house was built by Zhang Pei's mother's family when Zhang Pei got married. There are 3 big houses. Those old family members have to say that when things arrive at his house, they are his family. They want to drive out their mother and daughter. Those in the neighboring villages who knew about the old family also stood up. Yes, the old Gu family's heart is black. They have no way to go, otherwise they won't go to the county to sell cold skins. I also know this. Zhang Pei's mother and daughter are really pathetic. My mother said 2 days ago that if I dared to be like Gu Deong, would cut me with a knife. Onlookers who knew something said one after another. Slowly, the truth was restored. Before, these people all knew that something like this had happened in a village, but they didn't know who it was. At the moment, those who know only a little come out and shout, and they all know it. For a time, the dirty things that Lao Gu's family did also spread in the county. In addition to the people in the county, there are also people from various villages who come to sell things. After listening to such gossip, they see Wei Meiqi's arrogance and desperation. No one doubts what they say. They all feel that the old family care people are shameless to the extreme. They even occupy the dowry of other people's women after divorce, and slander other people's women's thieves everywhere. If someone didn't happen to belong to their village, the business that the woman of the other family managed to find wouldn't be so ruined. This is going to break people's way of life. For a time, everyone looked at Zhang Pei's mother and daughter with sympathy. Looking at Wei Meiqi's eyes, it was natural to despise and spit. Someone pointed at Wei Meiqi's mother and son and scolded them on the spot. Factory director Hu and others did not expect that Gu Qiaoyue's family had experienced these things. They were also sympathetic. They secretly decided to introduce more guests to them to buy cold skin rugamo in the future, so that they could earn more money and make life easier. How hard it should be for a woman with 2 daughters these days. Fortunately, my mother's family is good and can help. Director Hu looked at Zhang Hosheng with more appreciation. Wei Meiqi didn't expect to meet people in the village in the county and was exposed on the spot that she was lying. In the face of these people's despised eyes and those ugly curses, even if she had a thick skin, she couldn't stay any longer. Embarrassed, he got up, stared at Lao Yang and said ruthlessly, "Lao Yang, you dare to treat me like this in our village? Wait and see." Lao Yang was a little afraid of Wei Meiqi throwing a splash against their family in the village, but he had spoken out and enjoyed the feeling of justice. Now he was not afraid of Wei Meiqi. She sneered and said, "Wei Meiqi, do you know whether it's me or you?" The people in the neighboring village who helped Zhang Peipei uphold justice with him couldn't see it anymore. "I said you old family care people are so shameless. If you have the ability to do those things, you're afraid of others saying, looking for trouble, right? I'm not afraid of trouble. If you have the ability, come to me." Wei Meiqi's work today really stinks the reputation of her old family. Wei Meiqi spit hard and turned to leave. When things were successful, Gu Qiaoyue stopped pretending to cry. Seeing that Wei Meiqi was leaving, she stopped in front of them directly. "Gu Changsheng just kicked over a bucket of fried vegetables. If you don't compensate me today, no one will want to go. You bitch, you dare stop me." Without saying anything, Gu Qiaoyue slapped Wei Meiqi in the face with his backhand. "Keep your mouth clean. Put down 10 yuan and leave, or don't blame me for pulling you to the Public Security Bureau now. Slandering and beating people and smashing things are enough to shut you up for a few days." Gu Changsheng still hasn't figured out how things suddenly turned out like this. It's clear that they came to trouble Gu Qiaoyue's family and bad their business. How did they end up being beaten by everyone and stop to lose money now? At this moment, Gu Qiaoyue stopped them and raised her hand to beat Gu Qiaoyue. Gu Qiaoyue naturally won't let him hit him, so she will kick him. But before he could lift his feet, Gu Changsheng suddenly screamed. "Ah, let go of me." Gu Qiaoyue was stunned and looked up to see that a man on the side grabbed Gu Changsheng's wrist. Chapter 25. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The man was dressed in black sportswear, his face was as hard as a knife, and his lips were tight. Slightly drooping eyes just fell on Gu Qiaoyue, and his lips opened gently. "Are you okay?" The language is cold, but the words seem to hide concern. Gu Qiaoyue subconsciously shook her head and swallowed. "Why are you here? This man is really handsome." Even Gu Qiaoyue, who is much older than his actual age, can't resist the strong smell of male hormones from him at this moment. Gu Changsheng over there has cried out in pain. Let go of me, kill, kill." Gu Changsheng shouted and struggled. Wei Meiqi was stunned. "This man, why are you here?" As like as two peas in Zhou's moon, Wei Meiqi's words contained too much fear. Wei Meiqi's frightened voice made Gu Qiaoyue recover from Si Moyan's beauty. Gu Qiaoyue looked coldly at Wei Meiqi, smiled faintly and said, "What do you say? I should have introduced you last time. He is my brother." Gu Changsheng shouted, "I don't care who he is. Dare to hurt me and don't want to mix up. The so-called ignorant are fearless. Gu Changsheng has never seen Si Moyan. He doesn't know his identity, so he dares to scold so much." But Wei Meiqi saw it. Afterwards, Gu Deong gave them a popular science about the grading of the enterprise. That's the general manager. Big officials can crush them with one finger. Moreover, it was also because of this person that the old woman in the family didn't go to the trouble of Zhang Peipei's family. Wei Meiqi quickly pulled Gu Changsheng and told him not to talk nonsense. "Well, Mr. Secretary, misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. What misunderstanding? Your son smashed our stall and quickly lost money. 10 yuan a minute can't be less." Gu Qiaoyue won't pay attention to her. Such a big flag is floating here. Naturally, she won't give up the opportunity to pull the flag. "Gu Qiaoyue, you have the ability to say it again. I'll compensate you for your paralysis." Ah. Let go. Let go." Gu Changsheng scolded loudly, but the pain on his wrist increased a bit before he finished. Gu Qiaoyue looked up at Si Moyan again. He don't want Gu Chongqing to scold her. Listening to her son scream, Wei Meiqi turned pale with fear. Mr. C, let go, let go. You let go. Compensate, we compensate. Wei Meiqi quickly took out 5 yuan and handed it to Gu Qiaoyue. You see, the second aunt has so much money. Can you let him let your eldest brother go first? Gu Chongqing is the eldest among the grandsons of the old Gu family. Whether it's a boy or a daughter, all of them call Gu Chongqing big brother. But that was before. Now Gu Qiaoyue doesn't want to have any relationship with the Gu family. Naturally, she doesn't want to call Gu Chongqing brother anymore. Gu Qiaoyue doesn't believe that Wei Meiqi has only 5 yuan. Lao Gu has raised 7 or 8 hens. He hasn't come out to sell eggs for half a month. How can he sell them for more than 10 yuan? 10 yuan, not a penny less. Gu Qiaoyue said coldly. Ah. Let go, let go. It hurts. It seems that in response to Gu Qiaoyue's words, Si Moyan quietly increased his strength, and Gu Chongqing screamed again. Mom, didn't you sell the eggs for 11 yuan? Give them to her and give them to her. I'm dying of pain. Ah. Mom. Help me. Gu Chongqing felt his hands were going to waste. He tried his best to reach the wrist held by Si Moyan with his other hand, but he couldn't reach it. The painful forehead exuded dense beads of sweat. Wei Meiqi doesn't want to give it, but she loves her son. He gritted his teeth, took out all the money for selling eggs just now, took out $1 from it, and folded the rest neatly, 1, 2, 1, 2 and 50. All of them were handed to Gu Qiaoyue. Gu Qiaoyue took it and counted it. It was just 10 yuan. I warn you, it won't be so easy to trouble us next time. I'm sure my brother will beat you to death. Well, brother, let him go. Gu Qiaoyue turned her head and smiled sweetly at Si Moyan, with some uneasiness in her heart. Did he get angry when she used Si Moyan just now? Anyway, whether you are angry or not, don't drop the chain for yourself now. You must listen to yourself, even if you apologize to him later. Si Moyan glanced at Gu Qiaoyue lightly and let go of Gu Chongqing. Gu Chongqing quickly held his wrist and looked at the 5 red fingerprints on his wrist. He didn't dare to say a word. The whole person wilted. Son, how are you? Ah, it's swollen. Let's go. Mom will take you to the hospital. Wei Meiqi looked at Gu Chongqing's wrist nervously. She was so distressed that she almost burst into tears. Turned his head and glared at Gu Qiaoyue fiercely. He wanted to say some warning words, but he didn't dare to say a word. Carefully looked at the expressionless Si Moyan and pulled Gu Chongqing to leave. At this time, a voice suddenly sounded in the crowd. Gu Chongqing. It's really your boy. How did you come to the county today? Why are so many people gathered here? Gu Chongqing, what happened here? Zhang Yang. Why are you here? Gu Chongqing's eyes brightened when he saw Zhang Yang. The boy's home is in the county. He has a good relationship with himself. He is more capable than himself and knows more people. Walk, I'll treat you to dinner. Gu Chongqing came to pull Zhang Yang and was about to leave. He wondered how to use Zhang Yang to break this game back. Gu Qiaoyue dares to let people bully him like this. If he doesn't get this face back, where will his face go? Gu Chongqing put his hand on Zhang Yang's shoulder, took him and left, but found that he couldn't pull him. Zhang Yang. Zhang Yang looked in a direction, followed his eyes, and Gu Chongqing was stunned. The boy has been looking at the girl Gu Qiaoyue. Do you have a crush on her? And Gu Qiaoyue was stunned at this time, and suddenly ran into a rage in her heart. Zhang Yang. This man, turned into ash, she knows too. Her former husband, together with Xiao San, pushed her down the stairs, causing her death. If Gu Daong caused the sadness in the first 20 years of her last life, the sadness in the next 20 years has something to do with this man. Gu Qiaoyue clenched her fist, and her body trembled, and her towering anger seemed to rush out at any time. Zhang Yang, meet again. However, in this life, you are you, and I am not Gu Qiaoyue. Sima Yen stood beside Gu Qiaoyue. At the moment, he also noticed her emotional changes and crossed doubts in his heart. Gu Qiaoyue looked at Zhang Yang and frowned. Chapter 26. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Zhang Yang kept motionless and looked at Gu Qiaoyue with pure eyes. Their eyes collided in the air. Gu Qiaoyue's eyes were angry and hateful. But Zhang Yang was obviously mistaken. He thought that Gu Qiaoyue was affectionate and fell in love with him at first sight. My heart can't help jumping. Gu Changxing called Zhang Yang several times and pushed him again. Zhang Yang, what's the matter with you? Zhang Yang then recovered and asked with a smile, Gu Changxing, who is that girl? Gu Changxing sneered in his heart and whispered in his ear. My cousin, do you like her? Go and find a place for us to talk. Zhang Yang nodded and followed Gu Changxing step by step. After taking 2 steps, he suddenly turned around and ran to Gu Qiaoyue, smiled and said. Hello, girl. My name is Zhang Yang. I'm your cousin's friend. Then he took a deep look at Gu Qiaoyue and ran away with Gu Changxing. Gu Qiaoyue clenched her fist tightly, stood stiff in place, and resisted the impulse to grab a kitchen knife to chop Zhang Yang. Who? Gu Qiaoyue deeply breathed out a turbid breath, and her clenched fist also loosened a little. She was so nervous that the events of her previous life had passed anyway. Now Zhang Yang doesn't know her, let alone marry her. After that, the things that made her painful haven't happened. Everything is still in time. Gu Qiaoyue bit her teeth and her eyes were cold. Zhang Yang, if you don't provoke her, it's all right. Once you provoke her she will make him pay the price, but then again, how did Zhang Yang know Gu Changxing? After living together for so many years, she didn't know about it. Gu Qiaoyue had doubts in her eyes, but she was not as nervous and angry as when she suddenly saw Zhang Yang just now. Are you okay? The man's beautiful voice came from above. Gu Qiaoyue was stunned and smiled at him heartlessly. I'm fine. Thank you for not exposing me just now. Sima Yen glanced at Gu Qiaoyue, said nothing, and then turned around and left. Looking at the back of Si Moyan leaving, Gu Qiaoyue was stunned. This man, this temperament. After he appeared, he said a word from beginning to end and left. Be rather baffling. When the onlookers saw that Wei Meiqi and others had gone, they all talked and left. Lao Yang and several people in the neighboring village who helped Gu Qiaoyue talk came to comfort Zhang Peipei and Gu Qiaowan, and left. There are only 3 iron triangles left in Huchang, and Gu Qiaoyue's family. After such a fuss, business can't be done. Fortunately, there is not much left. There were only about 10 pancakes left, and there were only 5 or 6 cold skins left. The meat was still there, and the dishes were kicked over by Gu Changxing, so they couldn't be used. Now everyone is gone. Zhang Peipei and Gu Qiaowan are busy cleaning up. Zhang Hosheng came to Gu Qiaoyue and patted him on the shoulder. It's okay, Moon, don't be sad. He just looked after Qiao Yu and stopped Wei Meiqi's mother and son. When he was about to come to help, he saw a good-looking man help Gu Qiaoyue. Gu Qiaoyue shook her head, Uncle, I'm fine. What's wrong is Wei Meiqi's mother and son. Zhang Hosheng took a smoke from the corner of his mouth and was very helpless to his niece who had suddenly become tough and crying before the time. He changed the subject and asked, is that the man who helped you at the door of the Civil Affairs Bureau last time? He guessed when he heard the conversation between Gu Qiaoyue and Wei Meiqi just now. After Wei Meiqi's mother and son left, he was going to say hello and thank them, but he didn't expect others to leave directly, and he didn't have time to say thank you. Well, that's him. Thank you next time. Zhang Hosheng thought about it and said with some worry. I'm afraid you have completely offended the old family. Your two aunts go back and say that the old family may not let you go. Why don't you discuss it with your mother and go to your uncle's house first? Zhang Hosheng is really worried. Although he can take care of it, he can't stare at it all the time. Those people in Lao Gu's family are like crazy people. He is really afraid that they will bully the third sister's family. Gu Qiaoyue shook her head with a smile. Uncle, don't worry. If they dare to come, I dare to beat them and let them come back. Gu Qiaoyue said ruthlessly, with a cold light in her eyes. She said she would treat them well. Zhang Hosheng shook his head helplessly and went to talk to Zhang Peipei again. Trying to persuade her to go to her mother's house for a while with her two daughters. Gu Qiaoyue went to the three leaders of Hu Factory. Thank you for talking for us just now. Factory director Hu looked at Gu Qiaoyue angrily and said with a smile, Look, this girl is polite. If you are so polite, we don't dare to come to your house for dinner. Gu Qiaoyue smiled and said, That's not good. We all rely on you to take care of our business. As if the previous events had not had any impact on her. But factory director Hu knew that Gu Qiaoyueniang didn't look so relaxed on the surface. They were bitter in their hearts. As long as you are not so polite, we will often come to take care of your business in the future. Director Hu smiled twice. But it soon became serious again. Girl, I'm a friend. If you need anything in the future, just come to us for help. You're welcome. Lao Liang and Lao Gao too also said one after another. Yes, we old men eat your food. We can't flinch when we need help, can we? And comfort your mother. The three told Gu Qiaoyue and left. This kind of thing, they are all big men, and it's not easy to comfort Zhang Peipei. Gu Qiaoyue was slightly moved. Factory director Hu and his family were just guests who often came from their stalls to eat. They all cared about them so much, but the old family, each one is like a bloodthirsty leech. Gu Qiaoyue shook her fist, turned her head and looked at Zhang Peipei and Gu Qiaowan, who were silent in cleaning up the booth, and Zhang Hosheng, who kept talking beside Zhang Peipei, smiled silently. In fact, the world is still very beautiful. Not everyone is as hateful as the old family. Like grandma and uncle's family, like factory director Hu and them, like Lao Yang who spoke for them, and the general manager, they're all good, aren't they? Life goes on anyway. Besides, God didn't let her sink into hatred and couldn't extricate herself by letting her return to the starting point. Mother and sister still need her to take care of, and a better life needs her to work hard to create. Gu Qiaoyue pinched her fist, and when she loosened it again, the whole person was relaxed. Hashtag 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 ho ho. Is there a cute girl reading one? Take the risk to make the author familiar. One by one, hashtag carrot. Carrot hashtag. Chapter 27. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Gu Qiaoyue looked at the remaining pancakes and cold skins and said with a smile. We haven't eaten the cold skin and rugamo made by our own family. We must eat enough today for such a good opportunity. Gu Qiaoyue walked over with a smile, took a knife and began to chop marinated meat. While chopping, he greeted Zhang Peipei. Mom, you can also adjust some cold skins for us. I'm greedy when I watch them eat every day. There's just some left today. Zhang Peipei, who was still in a heavy mood, listened to Gu Qiaoyue's words and got up with a helpless smile to adjust the cold skin. Gu Qiaoyue is very fast. The rest of the marinated meat was chopped, and the rugamo was sandwiched. They were handed to Zhang Hosheng and Gu Qiaowan one by one. They put one next to Zhang Peipei, who was busy adjusting the cold skin, and then ate it. Not to mention, it tastes good. Gu Qiao praised while eating. Although Gu Qiaowan and Zhang Hosheng were eating rugamo, they were not as relaxed as Gu Qiaoyue. They both looked worried. Gu Qiaoyue looked at them, smiled and said. Well, don't frown and cry. It's his old family that has a bad reputation today. It doesn't have much to do with us. Wei Meiqi's trouble today has expanded the influence of the previous events. The more people know, it will not be so easy for the old family to slander Zhang Pei with this matter. No one will believe their nonsense. Gu Qiaowan ate the rugamo in her hand and felt bad. But the business has not been finished. Originally, these can be sold for money. After such a fuss, the business is all yellow today. That's all money. You'll have no money if you eat it yourself. Gu Qiaoyue rolled her eyes and looked at Gu Qiaowan with a hot chestnut on her forehead. Qiaowan, you can't be so stingy at a young age. You can't be like this next time. Besides, we didn't lose. Just now I asked Wei Meiqi for 10 yuan, which is enough to cover the rest of the rugamo cold skin. Gu Qiaoyue was stunned. Then his eyes lit up and calculated carefully. There are 15 pancakes and 6 cold skins left, which can sell for about 8 yuan. Sister, it's true, and we still have something to eat. Yes, so we've made a profit. Eat quickly. The pancakes and cold skin baked every day are sold out. I've wanted to eat our rugamo and cold skin for a long time. Now I can finally eat it. Gu Qiaoyue said with a smile. Gu Qiaowan also came to the spirit. After eating rujiamo, he went to bring Zhang Peipei's prepared cold skin to eat. While eating, he said, "Sister, don't say, it's really delicious." Zhang Peipei looked at the happy appearance of the two daughters, sighed silently, said no more, and ate himself. 15 pancakes and 6 cold skins. There were 2 cold skins and 5 pancakes left for 4 people. They were just brought back to Wu Honglian and Hitsuanfang. Several people rushed back when they were full. On the way, Gu Qiaoyue thought about it and said, "Mom, let's rent a store in the county town before school starts. At that time, Qiao Wan will also be transferred to the county town. The teaching quality in the county town is good. Qiao Wan can also be admitted to a good high school and a good university in the future." She had been thinking about this before. Now with the matter of Wei Meiqi, she doesn't want to delay any more. Otherwise, when school starts, she goes to school in the county and puts Zhang Peipei and Gu Qiaowan at home. She really doesn't feel at ease. It's a lot of money to rent a shop in the county. Zhang Peipei said with some worry. If she could, she also wanted to stay away from the old family, but it's not easy to save some money at home. Her 2 daughters want to go to high school. She also wants to pay for their 2 daughters to go to college. Both of them need money. Gu Qiaoyue smiled. It's not expensive. I inquired. The rent for a good lot is about 200 or 300 yuan a month, and the rent for a slightly worse lot is about 100 or 200 yuan a month. Just like the shop where we go to eat noodles, we can rent it for about 100 yuan. Gu Qiaoyue paused and then said, "Mom, if we open a store in the county city, we don't have to run back and forth every day. I go to school in the county city. It's close. I can help after school." Gu Qiaoyue said the pros and cons again. Zhang Peipei was a little moved, but the rent was too expensive. Zhang Hosheng also thinks this method is good. The whole family has gone to live in the county city. Don't believe that her old family can go to the county city to find them trouble. In this way, you don't have to run back and forth every day, and your 2 nieces don't have to suffer. Besides, it's okay now in summer. In winter, cold skin can't be sold. Rugamo is cold in the county and city. It's impossible to do business at all. But if you open a shop, you can sell noodles and hot soup in winter. Rugamo will not be cold when you sell it. Sister, I also think it's very good. The rent for a month will come back in 2 or 3 days. Moreover, if you open a shop in the county, you may sell more every day and in winter. Zhang Peipei frowned and thought. She didn't speak for a long time. Although Gu Qiaowan didn't speak, she was also looking forward to it. Go to school in the county. That's the only treatment for children in the city. But what about the house? Zhang Pei said suddenly. Those people of the old Gu family had coveted their house. What if the family went to the county and no one lived in the house, and then let the old Gu family bully? Mom, let grandpa and uncle take care of the house. What's more, the villagers look at what the old Gu family has done. If they don't want to be stabbed in the spine, they don't want to move our house. Speaking of the old Gu family, Gu Qiaoyue's voice cooled down. They are not at home. The old family doesn't move their house. Once they move, she will let them know how to write the word regret. Zhang Pei didn't say anything, but he didn't agree. There was silence all the way. Gu Qiaoyue is thinking about renting a store in which part of the county? Gu Qiaowan thought that he could go to school in the county and city in the future, so he didn't have to face the people who scolded them all the time. Zhang Hosheng wanted to go back and discuss with his parents and let them help persuade his third sister to open a store in the county. Zhang Pei is calculating that the rent of 200 or 300 yuan a month is almost 3,000 yuan a year. With this 3,000 yuan, you can buy some good new clothes for your two daughters and a bike for Yuer. It's convenient to go home after school. You can also build 2 more rooms at home. There's still room left after this. When she saved the money, she had a bottom in her heart. When she was almost home, Zhang Pei said, Yuer, we'd better not rent a store in the county. It's 3,000 yuan a year. Chapter 28. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After listening to Zhang Pei's words, Gu Qiaoyue knew that Zhang Pei had drilled the tip of an ox. After thinking about it, he said seriously. Mom, $3,000 is enough for us to sell more than $10 a day. Moreover, if we open a store in the county and do as much as we sell every day, we don't have to worry about not selling enough. At that time, the store will be fixed. With a fixed source of customers, our business will be better and better. We will certainly earn more than setting up a mobile stall every day. Zhang Hosheng also said. Yes, now we only do the business of those who go to the market every day, but we have opened a shop in the county and city. If our energy allows, we can give consideration to both the store business and the business of those who go to the market at the gate of the agricultural machinery factory. It may make a lot of money. The most important thing is that they can also be sold in winter. Otherwise, in winter, pancakes will be dried in the county. How can they be sold? Zhang Pei's eyes brightened. Yeah, why didn't she think of this? If you can sell it in winter, you can not only earn money from the store, but also earn a lot more money. That's okay. Go back and discuss the details. If we can, we'll get ready and try to open the shop before school starts. As well as Wan'er school, we have to take advantage of the summer vacation. Zhang Hosheng hurriedly said, Sister, you don't have to worry about Wan'er's school. There are my classmates in number 1 middle school in the county. I'll see if I can ask him to help, but number 1 middle school is the best school in the county after all. You still have to take an exam if you want to go in. You have to be careful about this. Gu Qiaowan promised happily. Uncle, don't worry. I have no problem. I will take the exam well and won't embarrass you. County number 1 middle school is the best school in Qinyang County. Many students in the county can't get in without good grades. Gu Qiaoyue was also happy. She was also thinking of ways to send Gu Qiaowan to number 1 middle school. Since her uncle is in number 1 middle school, it's best. It's settled. Gu Qiaoyue is also a little relaxed. When she got home, Zhang Pei told Wu Honglian and He Tsuanfang that she wanted to open a shop in the county. And gave Wu Honglian an analysis of the pros and cons she said along the way. Her daughter wants to do her own business, and Wu Honglian naturally supports it. Keep talking about doing well if you want to. With Wu Honglian's support, Zhang Pei became more confident and said to He Tsuanfang. Sister. Law, at that time, Yuer and Warner will start school. I can't be busy alone. Why don't Sister. Law and I go to the county to open a shop together? He Tsuanfang was already excited. He didn't want to get involved because he thought Zhang Peipei really needed money. But if you're really busy, He Tsuanfang looks at Wu Honglian. Wu Honglian said directly, Xiaoshua, I'll show you. Your sisters can take care of you when they do business in the county. Zhang Hosheng also said happily. Xiao Fang, you can go. When school starts, I'll study hard and see if I can teach in the school in the county. At that time, our family will also take care of us in the county. When we stabilize, we'll pick up our parents. The future described by Zhang Hosheng is so beautiful that He Tsuanfang nods happily when he thinks of going to live in the county and city in the future. Well, I'll help my third sister. Just pay me some money. Zhang Peipei shook his head, disagreed and said, that's no good. We said we were partners. How much money we made, our two families divided equally. How can we always let you help? Hearing Zhang Peipei say so, He Tsuanfang shook his head again and again. No, that's not good, sister. If you say so, I won't dare to come with you. He Cun is kind-hearted and thinks that Zhang Peipei is divorced. It's not easy to take two daughters alone. How can she follow her to pay money? It's good to give a few wages. Zhang Hosheng also said, yes, third sister, just do a good job. Xiao Fang will do you a favor. Just give her some money. Zhang Peipei knows what her brother and sister. Law mean, but if so, she is always sorry. How can I do this? We all earn money together. Besides, I can't do this business without you. Seeing the two brothers and sisters refuse here, Gu Qiaoyue only feels hearty and smiles with her mouth covered on the side. Gu Qiaoyue smiled, and several people who were refusing looked at her. Gu Qiaoyue coughed and said solemnly. My uncle and my mother are right. She is not at ease with you. Besides, since we have to do it for a long time, we have to be bigger and stronger. In this way, I must cooperate with my mother. To cooperate all the time, the first thing to do is to cooperate. Gu Qiaoyue's serious words stunned everyone in the room. Gu Qiaoyue looked at them, smiled, and then said. As the saying goes, brothers have to settle accounts clearly, so that there can be no contradiction and go on. Since it is cooperation, there must be cooperation. What do you want to do in that month? Zhang Hosheng asked. He always felt that Gu Qiaoyue had an idea in his heart. Gu Qiaoyue didn't refuse either. She said directly, my mother will take the money for renting the shop, and the two families will take the money for decoration together, and then 4 or 6 points. My mother will take 60% and the box will take 40%. In this way, no matter how much you earn or how little you earn, everyone will share it together. Zhang Hosheng said, looking at He Tsuanfang, and said, since the moon says so, we don't refuse, but 40% is too much, we'll make 3 achievements. He Tsuanfang nodded again and again. Yes, I'm not at ease with too many words. Seeing that her daughter and granddaughter were persistent and the matter was probably negotiated, Wu Honglian made a decision directly and said. In that case, according to Yuer, Pepe takes 70% and Xiao Fang takes 30%. In this way, it is clear that there will be any contradictions that affect your sister and brother's feelings in the future. Zhang Peipei felt that 3 or 7 points were okay, so he nodded and said, in that case, I'll take the money for the shop decoration. After the matter was agreed, Zhang Hosheng and He Tsuanfang didn't say anything when they saw Zhang Peipei's persistence. Just looking at Zhang Peipei's eyes more grateful. Zhang Peipei did not hide from them how much money he made every day. They all probably knew that the net profit of a day was about 60 or 70 yuan. It's almost 2,000 yuan a month. If it's divided into 3 parts, it's more than 500 yuan in their hands. More than 500. This is not a small amount. You know, Zhang Hosheng's salary is only 36 a month and 500 yuan a year. Gu Qiaoyue said, in that case, let Qiaowan review at home from tomorrow. You go with us. He Tsuanfang nodded repeatedly. Yes, at the beginning of school, Qiaowan has to go to number 1 middle school and review at home. At the same time, I have to learn how to sell. Chapter 29. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After things were agreed, the whole family was happy, as if they saw a better life in the future. He Tsuanfang and Zhang Peipei are busy cooking dinner. Gu Qiaowan also went to review non-stop to prepare for the transfer examination after the beginning of school. Gu Qiaoyue talked to Wu Honglian while teasing Xiao Zhangshua, wondering when the old Gu family would come to trouble. Just thinking about it, there was a commotion outside. Mrs. Gu's loud voice came from far and near. Shameless bitch, Zhang Peipei, you bitch, you come out and dare to take our old family's money. See if I don't kill you bitch today. Zhang Peipei. You hen who doesn't lay eggs and bitch who has no asshole for a son, you come out. The dirty scolding not only spread to Gu Qiaoyue's family, but also to the 8 neighbors. In the evening, there was nothing wrong. Now they came out to watch the excitement behind Lao Gu's family. Gu Qiaoyue sneered and stood up. It's time to come. When she asked Wei Meiqi for 10 yuan, she knew that the old family would come. Wu Honglian's face was cold. You are a girl, the old woman said your mother took their money. After they came back, they were busy talking about opening a shop. They didn't mention Wei Meiqi's fault finding in the county. Gu Qiaowan, who was reviewing in the room, came out when she heard the news. After listening to Wu Honglian's inquiry, she said. Grandma, Gu Changsheng and his mother went to the county and city to find fault, kicked over our vegetable bucket and ruined my mother's reputation everywhere. My sister asked her for 10 yuan for compensation. And this? Wu Honglian frowned and cursed fiercely. How can the old family care man be haunted? With that, he walked out. Gu Qiaoyue and Gu Qiaowan immediately followed. Zhang Peipei and He Tsuanfang, who were busy in the kitchen, also came out. Well, you bitch, you dare to come out and return the money quickly. Dare to rob our old family. Old woman, you scold again, lest I tear your mouth. As a girl, Wu Honglian was a lady of a large family and never uttered dirty words, but recently, this repeated thing really made her impatient with her old family. Oh, old lady Wu, you're capable. Your daughter can do shameless money robbing. Don't let people say it. I scolded you, the daughter with broken shoes my son made. Enough. Gu Qiaoyue suddenly gave a cold drink and interrupted old lady Gu's words. If you have something to say, get out of here. If you scold me, I'm not a vegetarian. Wei Meiqi shouted in the back. Gu Qiaoyue, you robbed us of the money to sell eggs. Don't deny it. Give it back to me quickly. Gu Qiaoyue looked at Wei Meiqi coldly and sneered. What money? You may have made a mistake. You paid us the money. My mother and Gu Daong divorced. I don't have anything in my family. Old lady Gu immediately blew her hair. What do you want to pay or not? The family surnamed Gu is one. Gu Qiaoyue, you bitch, you are also surnamed Gu. You even collude with outsiders to rob my old Gu's money. I won't kill you today. Old lady Gu Yang starts to greet Gu Qiaoyue with the crutch in her hand. She's really pissed off. Originally, I thought Zhang Peipei and Gu Daong would be unable to live after their divorce. Unexpectedly, they were still very moist. They went directly to the county to do business. The second daughter.in.law said that the rugamo was 50 cents. When she stood there for a while, she saw that they had collected dozens of dollars. What's more hateful is that they have so much money that they don't know how to honor her. They even robbed them. The bitch robbed the 10 yuan for eggs. It's like raising an unfamiliar white-eyed wolf. My family has raised her for so many years. I have to kill you, a white-eyed wolf, today. Gu Xiaoyue looked at Mrs. Gu coldly and grabbed the crutch that Mrs. Gu hit. It seems that the old lady is old and forgetful. Both my mother and your son have divorced. Gu Daong cleans up and leaves the house. There's not a penny in the family. If you want to run wild here, think about the price you have to pay. Gu Xiaoyue's tone was cold and her eyes crossed several people behind old lady Gu. After drying the wheat at home, the two sons of Lao Gu's family went out to find odd jobs, leaving only women and children at home. At the moment, the two daughters Law of Gu's family, Wei Meiqi and Li Lingling, as well as 4 grandchildren and 1 granddaughter, are following behind Mrs. Gu. Several people looked at the eyes of Shangu Xiaoyue. They didn't know why. They all felt a little scared, and subconsciously bowed their heads. Wei Meiqi was taken 10 yuan by Gu Xiaoyue. When she went back, she was scolded by Mrs. Gu. At this moment, Gu Xiaoyue didn't have her powerful brother in front of her, and her anger rose again. Gu Xiaoyue, who are you scaring here? When you were in the county today, you robbed me of 10 yuan. Don't deny it. Listening to Wei Meiqi's words, Gu Xiaowan quit immediately. Obviously, you paid us. It's natural for your son to kick over our stall and lose money. Fuck you, Gu Xiaowan, you shout again. Be careful, I'll beat you. Gu Chongsheng was frightened by Si Moyan in the county today. Si Moyan is not here at the moment. He is trying to get back the venue. Then he stood up with his sleeves rolled up. Gu Xiaoyue took the lintel on the side and shouted more angrily than Gu Chongsheng. Gu Chongsheng, it seems that you have healed the scar and forgot the pain. Who do you want to beat? Come on, see if you are powerful or the head of my hand is powerful. Anyway, my brother is the general manager. He has a wide range of contacts. There are people in the Public Security Bureau and the army. Beating you is also a white fight. Gu Xiaoyue threw her head into the crowd. The young people behind Mrs. Gu were scared back and forth. After all, Mrs. Gu was old. Frightened by Gu Xiaoyue, she staggered and sat on the ground. Gu Xiaoyue, you're crazy. You dare to hit your grandmother? Li Lingling asked loudly, but she didn't come forward to help Granny Gu. She was also a little afraid of Xiao Yu's head. The girl seems to have changed recently. She dares to fight and do. She can do what she says. Last time, even Mrs. Gu dared to fight. As an aunt, she may not be spared. Li Lingling's tone eased a little. Gu Xiaoyue, put down your head, it's your grandmother. Gu Xiaoyue sneered. Grandma, haha, I haven't really seen grandma who is looking for trouble with her granddaughter for 3 days or 2. I can't afford such a grandmother. Get up, get out of here, dare to come to my house again, see once and fight once. Don't give me relatives here. My mother has no relationship with your old family. When they divorced, my Gu Xiaoyue was awarded to my mother and has no obligation to you. Chapter 30. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhang Peipei looked at Gu Xiaoyue and looked at her fierce look with her head. Her nose was sour and couldn't help crying. Old Lady Gu was frightened by the head waved by Gu Xiaoyue. She didn't come back for a long time. At this moment, hearing Gu Xiaoyue's words, he turned his eyes angrily and was about to faint. You unfilial son. He, unfilial. Sorry, I'm very filial. If you don't believe me, ask my mother. Gu Xiaoyue sneered twice. Filial piety to the old family. Did she blow her head? Finally, I'll warn you again. If anyone of your old family dares to touch a hair of my Gu Xiaoyue's family, let me hear that you dare to scold my family again. I Gu Xiaoyue will never bypass him. Gu Xiaoyue looked coldly at the old lady Gu who had been blocked by her word on the ground. Also, don't mess around in my house. My grandmother is old and afraid of noise. If it bothers her, I won't care about your life or death. Anyway, my brother is the general manager of a large enterprise. He has great power. There are people in the government. Even if I beat you, he will settle it for me. As long as Si Moyen's flag was not in front of him, Gu Qiaoyue didn't have the slightest psychological pressure. When Gu Qiaoyue mentioned her brother, Gu Chongqing was angry and yelled. Your brother. Bah, I scolded. What's the matter? Zhang Peipei stole people and bitches, and gave birth to a bunch of bitches. Suddenly, bang. A dull noise. Everyone was startled. Gu Chongqing only felt a pain in his head. When he reached out and touched the blood in his hand, he was so frightened that he turned his eyes and fainted. Wei Meiqi cried and rushed to Gu Chongqing, who was covered with blood. Son, how are you? Are you okay? You're bleeding. Gu Qiaoyue, you dare to beat my son. I'll fight with you. Wei Meiqi cried and was about to come to Gu Qiaoyue. Gu Qiaoyue raised her head high in her hand, smiled on her lips, and looked at Wei Meiqi faintly. I did what I said. If you want to taste the taste of broken head and blood, you can also come and try. You unfilial thing. Old Lady Gu fainted when she saw that her grandson's head was bleeding. Wei Meiqi dared not go to Gu Qiaoyue, who was very strong with a bushel, and cried with her second son Gu Xingli to help Gu Chongqing stop bleeding. Li Lingling hurriedly asked her two sons to carry Mrs. Gu back. Before leaving, he took a warning look at Zhang Peipei. Sister.in.law, if my mother has something good or bad, my brother will not let you go. Then he stared at Xiao Yu again. But in the moment of looking at Gu Qiaoyue, he quickly took back his eyes. Zhang Peipei suddenly stood up and said coldly. If you have any tricks, you can use them and dare to move my family. Even if I risk my life, I won't make you feel better. Also, don't come to my house if you have nothing to do in the future. Gu Qiaoyue looked at Zhang Peipei and smiled at her. Li Lingling didn't seem to expect how Zhang Peipei suddenly became so hard-hearted. She snorted coldly and asked someone to quickly carry Gu Laotai and Gu Chongqing back. The old family man came here with a menacing curse. When I go back, I feel dizzy, injured, crying. As soon as the people around Gu Qiaoyue's yard saw the old Gu's people coming out, they made way and pointed to the old Gu's people. It is also said that Gu Qiaoyue is too cruel. At least it's my grandma. This Gu Qiaoyue is a little cruel. Who says not? You look after the blood of your eldest grandson. Alas, they all say that divorce is bad for children. It's easy for children to go to extremes. Look, good children are going to go astray. You can't say that. You haven't seen what the old Gu's people look like. I heard Lao Yang's head come back and say that the old Gu's second daughter.in.law smashed their stall. Do you think they can't be angry? Now the old Gu's people still come to the door and I can't swallow it. Yes, the old family care people deserve to let them bully other people's orphans and widows. Gu Qiaoyue's house was surrounded by almost half the people in the village, and everyone talked one after another. These words naturally fell into the ears of Gu Qiaoyue and others in the yard. Gu Qiaoyue didn't care, but Wu Honglian and Zhang Peipei took it to heart. Think about it, really. Since Zhang Peipei and Gu Deong divorced, Gu Qiaoyue has always been very strong and has ideas. It's a good thing. But will it really be like those people said, that Gu Qiaoyue was actually hit and his temperament suddenly changed? If you are really stimulated, you will hit people at any time in the future, so what? Go inside, never mind what they say. Zhang Peipei sighed for fear that what these people said would make Gu Qiaoyue sad. Wu Honglian also sighed. She was angry that the old family was too bad and distressed that her daughter was divorced. It was inevitable that she would be criticized if she took two daughters alone. Gu Qiaoyue put her head away and obediently entered the house. A pot was still burning in the kitchen. He Tsuanfang took Gu Qiaowan into the kitchen. Zhang Peipei and Wu Honglian looked at Gu Qiaoyue in the room and sighed after half a ring. Zhang Peipei spoke first. Xiao Yu, is it particularly hard for your mother to divorce your father? Gu Qiaoyue was stunned. What's going on? Does she feel bad? She can't wait for Zhang Peipei to divorce Gu Daong earlier. How can she feel bad? Wu Honglian sighed and said earnestly. You are a girl, you heard Grandma say that your mother and your father can't live through divorce. There's no way, but your mother will take good care of you and your sister. Don't think about interrupting. Don't beat people outside in the future. Gu Qiaoyue suddenly understood that the feeling was that she frightened them just now. Gu Qiaoyue burst into laughter. Grandma, Mom, where do you want to go? I just teach the old family members a lesson. If I don't give them some color, they want to come to trouble every once in a while. But Zhang Peipei was still worried. Gu Qiaoyue took Zhang Peipei's hand and said with a smile. I beat Gu Chongqing today. The next time they come to trouble, they have to weigh whether they will be beaten by me. Wu Honglian looked at Gu Qiaoyue seriously for a while. Seeing that her granddaughter soon calmed down, she was really clear and bright. She didn't look like something, so she smiled. If only you could think so. In fact, your mother and grandma have no other meaning. Don't think about it. Gu Qiaoyue nodded. Mom, Grandma, don't worry. I know how to be measured. As long as others don't come to us for trouble, I won't beat them for no reason. However, if someone comes to us for trouble, I won't let him go. Hashtag little lovelies. The great God in the member area of the article, your daughter in the countryside has a little field, is limited to no praise voting, lights up the little red heart, and enough praise. You can watch it for free next week. Hey! Everyone, click in the member area of the Book City, there is a free voting, and you can vote as long as there is a Book Flag app, so everyone, thank you very much.